The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
How ironic. A football player's biggest dream can only become reality in the city that never sleeps.
Go New York, New York, where the lights light up the show. Go to New York, New York, and take over the world.
4 months and too many sleepless nights from the end of the college football season, hundreds of young men brace themselves for the promise of going pro. The most gifted and questioned athlete of the draft with something to prove.
Shot the world there, shot the world.
The oversized and often overshadowed QB battling the hype of his more famous peers.
You have one goal, and that goal is to be the #1 pick in the draft.
The star wide receiver who rose from a tough childhood stands prepared to change his life forever.
I never thought I was gonna ever make it. This is where I'm at now, training for the combine.
The old school grinder with the drive to prove that the workhorse running back is not a thing of the past.
Get up, through.
I miss you.
And the family man and Division II standout built to fit the NFL's trend toward bigger cornerbacks.
Can take over the world.
In and out of the spotlight, we follow these five as they prepare themselves for the unforgiving scrutiny of the toughest job interview they will ever experience. For the dream they will soon share. This is Draft Academy.
Michigan at the 41. What a hit! Ball's free, on the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do.
Clowney just says, I'll take care of business right here. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate for sure next year.
I didn't even know his helmet came off until after I got the ball picked up, because I was trying to score with the ball. My teammates was going crazy on the sideline. It must have been one of them hits.
It was the rarest of sports plays, one that brought instant fame and created immediate legend. A play immortalized simply for what it was, the hit.
The kind of hit you'll be seeing on replay reels until the end of time.
Oh, man, blew up. Everybody in the world was talking about the hit. Everybody knows Clowney as the guy from the hit.
People knew he was a really good player, one of the premier players in the country. But that single hit, it made him a national figure.
The moment that play took place, I was on my couch.
You exploded.
I screamed, whoa!
The tremor of Clowney's hit on Michigan's Vincent Smith grew exponentially throughout the offseason, earning him a 2013 ESPY for Player of the Year, making him a preseason Heisman Trophy favorite and the consensus #1 pick for the 2014 NFL Draft.
It may have been the worst thing that happened to him because I think so much attention was given. All the talk then about should he even go play his final season or should he sit out and wait for the 2014 draft. I just don't think his mind was right this year.
Why would he play for free when in a year he's going to be playing for money? South Carolina raised its ticket prices by $6 this year because they have Jadeveon Clowney, and Jadeveon Clowney doesn't get any of that money.
I think ultimately you do want to see him play harder on a more consistent basis, have more production on more of a consistent basis.
He didn't have the production the first couple games. He started getting frustrated, and everyone was focused in on him like we usually focus in on a quarterback.
The South Carolina Gamecocks have underwhelmed this season, and no one has been more disappointing than the Gamecocks' freakish defensive end, Jadeveon Clowney.
The only memorable impact in Clowney's 2013 season was the one delivered to his anemic stat sheet and draft value. Red flags and rumors began to fly regarding his work ethic, phantom injuries, and even mailing it in for the season.
His demeanor this year, starting at North Carolina, has been disgraceful, and I think he is clearly the biggest joke in college football.
But Clowney is quick to confront his doubters.
I believe our 2013 was just as good as my 2012. We won 11 games. We ended up ranking number 4 in the country. I mean, the first time in South Carolina history. People gonna say what they want to say. The season just did not go like I planned, and I'm fine with it. I still think I played hard as I did, regardless of what anybody thinks.
How does a man who seemingly could have walked into the NFL 12 months ago suddenly have to prove himself all over again? It wasn't long ago when Jadeveon burst onto the scene in 2010 at South Point High School. Stories surfaced about the play of a 6'6", 240-pound man-child from Rock Hill, South Carolina.
The handoff, and there's Clowney.
Making him the #1 national recruit in his senior class. The legend only grew when he decided to attend college close to home.
I'm headed to the University of South Carolina.
In Columbia, his impact was significant. And in 2012, his sophomore season, he clocked 13 sacks and 23.5 tackles for loss, winning the SEC's Defensive Player of the Year. But with experts scrutinizing every aspect of his 2013 season, Jadeveon Clowney now finds himself heading down a very unfamiliar path.
I got a lot to prove to myself and to others. I mean, I just want to let them know who is the best defensive end coming out. I can't speak for what's going to happen in the league, but at this point right now, I can speak for what I'm going to do in the combine and hopefully to prove a point that I am one of the best.
On the shores of Gulf Breeze, Florida, Clowney shifts his focus to the one thing he can truly control: his performance at the NFL Combine. It's the initial step to hearing his name called first at the NFL Draft.
I want to be the #1 pick. If a team feel like they want a quarterback, running back, anything over me, I'm going to show you why ACL took me. I want to be the first guy taken.
If Jadeveon Clowney was the most hyped player coming into 2013,
Hey, how you going? Good, how are you? Blake Bortles.
University of Central Florida quarterback Blake Bortles may have been one of the least.
Perfect.
You're probably the unknown guy. I'm sure everyone's said that about you.
Right.
Yet the season played out, and now Bortles and his team have their sights set on the same goal as Clowney, being #1.
You better get to know this face. Very well could be the first name called in May 2014 drafted.
Right now, the competition is to be the first pick in the draft, and that's what Blake wants. He wants to be the first guy taken.
You have one goal, and right now that goal is to be the #1 pick in the draft. The media, the hype, the fame, whatever you want to call it, is on the outside.
I think I got you rated my 55th best player or something like that.
55th?
Shit.
I'm gonna have to move that up, yo.
No, 6th.
That's too low.
Bortles' late rise on the draft scene has left experts scrambling for his stats. For some, even his size is elusive.
On Gilbrand's rankings, he has you 6th, but he has your size at 6'3.5", 225. So I called him. I said, Gil, you saw how tall he is. And he's like, how much does he weigh? I said, he's about 240. So he said, oh, I'll get that changed right away.
Who are the top quarterbacks he has?
He has Johnny first and then Teddy 5th.
Ironically, being overlooked is nothing new for the 6'5" Bortles. His height, athleticism, and football acumen have gone unnoticed since his days at Oviedo High School in Orlando, Florida.
I went pretty unrecruited out of high school, had offers to play tight end. So it was like, man, can I even play quarterback in college?
A lot of the schools who came in, they saw this big physical kid. They see him run around out there, and a few schools thought maybe he's a tight end. And I told him, I said, guys, this kid's going to be a good quarterback. I mean, he's big, he can move, he can make any throw on the field. He's the guy you want leading your football team.
When you're getting recruited, what boy doesn't want to go to the biggest and the best? But it didn't happen, and I always knew that he would end up where he was supposed to be.
Sometimes where you are supposed to be is right where you are. Just 5 miles from his home, the University of Central Florida was the first of only 3 schools to offer Bortles a scholarship to play quarterback. Following a solid redshirt sophomore year, the Knights, and Bortles' increasingly impressive skills, began attracting national attention.
Bortles under pressure to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Knights.
It just kept building game after game after game. They go to Penn State and win, and it sort of reached its peak with beating Louisville.
Bortles to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, UCF.
The whole country took notice that, wait a minute, Teddy Bridgewater is already listed as the #1 ranked quarterback, and this other guy came in and outplayed him.
That's definitely something that still motivates me and fuels my fire is redemption. I'm sure those guys remember coming to my high school and looking me in the eye and telling me, you know, you're not going to play for us. That was my motivation. These guys never recruited me out of high school. I'm going to make sure they know that they made a mistake.
It's funny, all the people in the media row that knew you were somebody but didn't know exactly who you were. They say, okay, now, I'm sorry, who's Blake Bortles? I pretty much said, just give it a year, you'll know.
Yeah, right.
What's up? Hi, babe. How you doing? Hi, babe. Hey, babe. Hi, Cammy.
Hi.
Say love you.
Love you.
I love you. Say miss you.
Miss you.
Hey, Keely. Do you know what Daddy likes to do? Yeah. But we miss you a lot. Miss you too. He's silly.
I made a lot of sacrifices. I had to make a schedule, you know, everything was just down to the minute. So I really didn't have any extra time to go out with my friends or anything like that because I still had a responsibility for going to school, going to work, providing for my family, and then being able to watch my daughters and still be a husband at home.
Yeah. He's an amazing husband. I couldn't picture anybody else. To me, he's the perfect guy. He's great with the girls, he treats me great, and he does everything for us.
Being a college student athlete is demanding. Also, being married and raising 2 daughters requires an entirely different level of dedication. But for Pierre Desir, that's just life. Desir balanced the demands of a full-class schedule and raising his daughters with his wife, all while playing football at Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri.
I see myself as a hard worker just because of all that I had to do with going to work, going to school, and going to practice. So it made me put everything in perspective on what I wanted to do in life, and that was to play football.
The son of Haitian immigrants, Desir came to the United States in 1994 when he was only 4 years old. He didn't play competitive football until his freshman year of high school. Overlooked by Division I schools, Desir was faced with yet another challenge.
It's very tough to get noticed coming from the D2 level. You have to have great stats. You have to, have a lot of interceptions, have a lot of tackles, so on and so on, just to even get recognized. And you can't just be one of the best in your conference. You got to be one of the best in that D2 area just to even get a little bit of notice.
With the current NFL trend of tall corners like 6'3" Richard Sherman, Desir at 6'1" established himself as the dominant defensive back in Division II.
Picked off here Desir. Business as usual for the French assassin.
Desir's play and size earned him an invite to play in the East-West Shrine All-Star Game.
Keith Price has a touchdown pass. Almost had a touchdown toss to the other team. And Pierre Desir, the small college defensive player of the year out of Lindenwood, almost with a pick that could have turned into a pick six.
His standout performance in the Shrine punched his ticket to the most prestigious college All-Star game, the Senior Bowl.
Hi, Cammy. Hi, mamas. How you doing, Keeks? Hi, boo-boo. Hi, boo. How you doing?
Okay, now here's a good look at Pierre Desir. Look how long he is. 33-inch arms.
You're ready. You're going in.
Think about the kind of opportunity that's here for him this week. I mean, he was named the top defensive player in all of Division II, but, I mean, how many NFL future players has he ever played against until this week?
The speed of receivers definitely increased And so I know that each day when I came out to practice, I had to bring my A game. I had to pay more attention to detail, and I had to make sure that I was in the right position. So that was listen to what the coaches told me the practices before and what I needed to work on, and put those things together when I came into the next practice.
David fails to Norwood. This is the double pass, looking back to Andrews. And that one's intercepted in the end zone out of Lindenwood College. Pierre Desir.
Good job, babe.
I feel good. I think for the few plays I was in, I did a good job, and it's always good when you have an interception. And this game was just the icing on the cake to show everybody that I can compete with these bigger receivers. All right, boy. Okay, boy. Appreciate it.
It's 2 weeks away from the NFL Combine, and USC wide receiver Marquise Lee is putting in work, training in Laguna Hills, California.
Hey.
No reps could strengthen his heart and harden his will, like growing up in the city just an hour north of here.
I grew up in Inglewood. It was pretty bad. Violent, unsafe. You had to look over your shoulders 24/7. Wasn't a place you wanted to stay.
Lee was only 5 years old when his mother, who was deaf, lost something more precious than her hearing: her children. Lee and his 4 siblings were taken from her and placed into foster care.
I think that was one of the main reasons we got taken away from my mom at a young age anyway. It was everybody on the outside who looked in, you know, felt like she wasn't capable.
After several years in foster care, Lee's grandparents took in Marquise and his sister. But home was now a motel.
Here is the King Motel. Stayed here pretty much all the middle school. This window right here is actually where me and my sister stayed. There's only one bed, so me and my sister split the bed most of the time. For what I can remember, clothes being in the bags. We had bags of clothes. Went to school from there. I was really worried about people seeing me actually go in and out of there. Very embarrassing. Because I knew questions gonna come up. Why you live there, Marquise? Like, your family don't take care of you, like things like that. Like, that's that type of stuff I was trying to avoid. For sure trying to avoid.
Searching anywhere for a sense of stability, Lee joined his brothers as a Queen Street Blood when he was only 10 years old.
This is Queen Street. My brother actually got killed in this area. Pretty tough. He got shot, gang banging, you know, stuff. It's tough. It's kind of hard talking about it. Losing my brother was one of the low points of my life. The time he passed, he was about 18. At that time, he was really changing his life around. He actually got a job. Didn't that happen? My brothers, you know, went down the wrong road as far as gang banging and everything, and I followed them for a couple footsteps, but then I had to change.
Lee turned to sports as a release, an escape. It's here on the football field of Darby Park where Marquise began to realize he had a talent and a love for the game.
Sports was an ally in my case as far as getting away from the game banging and all the other stuff. I try to motivate myself through the past, you know, to make me a better player going forward.
Through football, Lee not only found the stability he craved, but a home in the family of a classmate and teammate at Sarah Catholic High School.
I met Steven playing basketball, travel basketball. Me and Steven always talked, and I told Steven, like, what do you think about your parents if I said if I can stay here? And Steven was like, man, He was like, that'd be sweet. He was like, I think they'd like it.
I knew he was, kind of like, starving for the love that my family can offer him. And that, we took him in, and from that point on, and he's one of ours.
I can honestly say at that time, I was a nobody. I didn't know I was going to go to college. I didn't have any offers. I didn't have anything. And it just took me in, Started staying with him, and everything just came perfect at that point.
With a renewed sense of family and hope, Lee shined on the football field at Sarah Catholic, finishing his senior season with 24 touchdowns and a scholarship offer from USC.
It's Lee again. Oh, my. Lee on his way. Marquise Lee, touchdown USC.
Darby Park is where everything started for me. That park held a lot of history for me as far as getting me started on the things that I'm now doing. Yeah. Don't come back here much, though. I mean, it's surreal to me because it's like I never had a dream to go to the NFL. Like, I didn't even watch it. Like, I didn't watch football. Because I never thought I was going to actually make it. And then that's where I'm at now, training for the combine.
I'm in pursuit of a childhood dream. A dream that started since I was the age of 7. It's really a blessing, and it's a great opportunity that not everybody gets to have. It's not rocket science, the formula is real simple, and if you want to accomplish anything in life, you have to be disciplined, you have to have the right mentality, and you have to have a great work ethic. And I think I embody all of those things as a football player and as a man.
Structure and discipline have long been staples of Bishop Sankey's life. Established by his father, U.S. Air Force Sergeant Chris Sankey, who was granted full custody of Bishop when he was 7.
Let's go see your bedroom.
It was the same year Chris introduced his son to football.
Number 9, Bishop the Hurricane Sankey.
My dad played football coming up his whole life. He loves the game, and that's something that he wanted me to do. So first week I came down there, I looked at my dad looks at me, and he goes, son, you're gonna play football.
Sports, I knew, was gonna be a great platform for me to teach him. My thought was, okay, I'm just gonna make him good at a young age at something that's gonna build his confidence. And so what I could give him was sports.
Chris is going to run Bishop up the middle.
He coached me all the way up throughout my childhood, from 2nd grade all the way up through 7th or 8th grade. He was always involved, especially in sports and everything, and he was really there supporting me the whole way through.
That support propelled Bishop to the University of Washington. There he became a 2-year starter and was utilized as a workhorse in the Huskies' backfield. He's declared early for the draft in an attempt to save his body for the same type of grind at the next level. Just 4 months removed from setting the school's single-season rushing record with 1,870 yards, Bishop continues to work for that extra edge he'll need in the NFL at the API Exos training facility in San Diego, California.
Shift and go now, shift and go. Yeah, it's a good start. Come on, Bishop, all the way through, explode through. 390, I'll take a 390. Good work, good work. His ability to change direction is world class. I mean, it's out of this universe. He's got phenomenal mobility, which means if he decides to put his foot in the ground and change direction, he can create some really amazing angles to do that with. Come on, let's go. Come back, relax. Hey, you took 6 steps out there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get all hyped up, you're taking 6 steps instead of 4.
Normally, it might take 3 to 4 training sessions for someone to feel something and grasp it. One film review session with him, and he was able to take it out there and really apply it. All right, here you go. So what I'm looking for is that if your center of mass is right there, when you start moving, I want you moving away from that line in every frame. And right now, you're moving away from that line in every frame. So that's a good start. You're going to get to extension right there, outside foot. How far are you supposed to be from the line?
6 inches.
6 inches. You look like Spider-Man right there, man. Just feet stuck. Just feet stuck in the ground. Look at that. That's great.
I feel like some of my strengths are the 5-10-5, 3-cone drill, the bench press. I think I'll do fairly well at everything. You know, I'm really just trying to maximize my potential in each and every drill that they're going to put us through at the combine.
Bam. Good work, man. Good work.
I would be highly surprised if he did not break records in the multi-directional drills for the running backs at the NFL Combine.
Most NFL prospects have been training for the game since they were kids. But Blake Bortles knows that where he lands in the NFL comes down to how hard he works right now.
You have 2 months, really, to prepare to capture your lifelong dream of playing in the NFL.
Every rep, push it out.
I came in with the expectations of, you know, sun up, sun down. This was going to be a full-time gig, and we were going to get after it.
It's not bad, Blake.
Good, dime. Get it out, dime. Turned, good. Out, dime, next.
When I came here and had the opportunity to sit down with Jordan Palmer, the intelligence, the passion that he has for this whole thing, you know, this is truly what he enjoys doing.
6-season journeyman quarterback Jordan Palmer knows what it's like to fight for a roster spot. In fact, he has never started a game in the NFL. But with a sibling who has been a career starter and 2-time Pro Bowler, the younger brother of Carson Palmer has a unique perspective on the life of a professional quarterback.
Good. Being a journeyman, I've had a ton of chapters in my life. I think that perspective of having to claw your way in and keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. I also know what it's like to be a Heisman Trophy winner and the #1 pick in the draft and sign a $127 million deal. Because my brother and I are so close, I feel like I have that perspective on both sides of the spectrum. Good. My brother was the #1 pick in the draft. He didn't play a snap his rookie year. Well, times have changed. These quarterbacks, they just got to be ready. Say the play. As if it's for the game winner.
Train right, 374, X logo FC.
Yeah. So here, let me just throw one more little thing on here and I'll shut up. Don't ever be in front of people going, train right, 374, X logo F seam. Don't ever say that. You get to rookie minicamp, pause, say it to yourself. Train right, 374. Here we go, train right, 374, X logo F seam. Sounds very different, right?
Train left, 375, X logo F seam.
I'll run that play.
Boom. You ready?
I'll play for that guy. I'll block for him, especially if he does that. All we worked on in the beginning was just getting his platform to where it's always the same. That front foot is going to barely move, which allows us to get the ball out of our hands quicker. He was always on balance. He just didn't put himself in a position to be as balanced as possible. Okay, so that's a dime. And throw from there. You feel that?
Yeah.
So you hopped back, reset. It's just a hitch versus a no hitch.
A hop back step throw.
Yeah, so we're here, boom, and throw from there. Now, he's got a great platform, and we're working the off-platform stuff. On the move, retreating, running forward. If you can own those 2 portions of the game with his physical ability, I think the sky's the limit. That's big time.
Over the years, Jordan Palmer has added non-traditional exercises to his training regimen. Today, he takes Bortles and fellow QBs Brett Smith and Keith Price out of the gym to work on their footwork, core strength, and nerves.
I live in Southern California, and I got introduced to stand-up paddleboarding. I saw the value in the muscles and the portions of your body that it works. It's become a huge part of what I do.
You done this before?
Nah, this is my first time, so we gonna see how it pan out.
Keith was nervous about the paddleboard session. And those were by far the biggest waves that have been here since we've been going out there.
Now we're about to see how this go. I feel good though. I'm feeling confident. The waves is getting a little bigger, but I should be able to do all right.
Every man for himself. Get past the waves.
Them things is getting bigger and bigger though.
Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up.
Okay.
I'll get the 3 of them out, and then I'll come back and get you.
All right. Blake just got wiped out right now. And they was talking trash about me.
Good workout. Keith got to stand up.
Big bounce to Marquise Lee. And Lee, with some balance, going backwards at first. Gets to the edge, though. Lee to midfield. And finally spun around and dropped right near midfield. He is obviously in a lot of pain. Here's Marquise Lee with what we're thinking is a knee injury. For now, at least, the Trojans are without their star.
First thing that came to mind was like, my ACL was done. We took x-rays, it was just MCL. You know, try to rush it back. I kept reactivating it, so I actually just sat out.
The impact of Marquise Lee's knee injury was immediate and lingering, forcing him to sit out 3 games during the 2013 season. In his first 2 seasons at USC, Lee scored a combined 25 touchdowns and was an All-American as a sophomore. As a junior, Lee only scored 4.
The injury really affected him. His tape this year did not stack up to what you saw before, and it didn't stack up to an elite wide receiver.
I think that's what most people fear is the injury. You know, nobody want to invest in somebody who's injured.
There you go. That's it. That's it. That's it. Remember, we're trying to control this knee collapsing in, right?
Keep it out.
Keep it out. So when you push, our philosophy with Marquise is to take that approach of figuring out why he's getting hurt. And the first step was getting him to activate the right muscles. You got to regroup, make sure it's in the glute. Yep. Some of the techniques for Marquise that he's really been focusing on are activation of his glutes. He was a quad-dominant athlete, and that's where you see a lot of the tension in the knees. Control that knee.
You look at how he played his first 2 years, it's pretty flawless. So the question is just, hey, is this a guy who, as an NFL talent evaluator, is he going to be out there 16 out of 16 games?
All I really got to really focus on is going there, just showing the player that I was my sophomore year before the injury. Once they see me run out in that shuttle, they be like, his knee is okay. He can run.
The consensus in training is that if Lee's knee is as strong as his personality, NFL scouts should have nothing to worry about.
The thing that we love is he's the same guy, whether he's dog-tired or he's fresh, he's got that smile on his face.
Look at Ryan. I just try to make people laugh. Everything that comes out of my mouth, everything that I do is always positive. I try not to be a negative person at all.
Marquise really is approaching the pre-draft process the right way. It's the right mix of extremely competitive, extremely focused, but also not obsession. A lot of it's probably based, one, on his general personality, and two, his background, which has been well documented.
That's why, I'm always walking around here smiling and just keeping a smile on my face, because the past is the past, and at the end of the day, it can only, build me and make me stronger.
And he took me on sightseeing. I don't know, building stairs or farmers games. I took a lot of class this year. Civil engineering, architectural design. School. At the end of the year, we got a project.
Right there. You in there, right?
It's apparent that some members of the Clowney residence struggle with the extra attention. But unlike his English bulldog named King, Jadeveon calmly handles his business.
I know what my main focus is right now. It's not really bothering me. I just know my main focus is to get ready for the combine. Like a job now. I ain't got to worry about going to class or study hall or none of that. Just football. So, you got to enjoy it. It's got to be the longest process ever. Of training and going to combine and pro day, mini camp and all that. I was expecting it, I know this is part of the process.
Another part of the process for a top prospect? The National Media Sprint.
What's up, man? This is Jadeveon Clowney. You're watching Stack. Hope to be up there in New York for the draft. Just hoping my name get called early. I just think I should be the #1 pick taken in this draft overall.
Jadeveon Clowney, who figures to hear his name called awfully early in the NFL draft. How important is it to you, Jadeveon, to go #1?
Well, it's very important. Coming out of high school, came out of #1 player in the country. I want to go into the draft and the #1 pick and try to prove myself at this combine and just keep going up and up from there.
All right, Jadeveon, we appreciate your time. Continued success. Good luck getting ready for the draft. We'll talk again, all right?
Thank you, man. Take care.
As the barrage of questions and answers fade, Clowney devotes his mind and body to the battery of tests he will face in Indianapolis. So goes the rule of intense training. No detail is overlooked, especially when it comes to the king of all events, the 40-yard dash.
Get up, through. The 40 is huge. Obviously, the 40 is the physical test that can show us a tremendous amount of data. We get to really touch on the technique points with the guys and spend a lot of time getting them more into a track athlete mindset rather than a football player.
I want to get them right out front, snap those feet down to the ground. Simple. All right, simple things done savagely well.
There's no doubt about it. He's already a freak athlete. He's already crazy strong, crazy fast. But what can I do to best prepare him and get him to understand how these small changes aren't going to change him as an athlete, aren't going to change the way he runs, but they're going to help benefit him in this specific test. There, that's it right there. Now freeze the lower body and just walk your hands back. Three, two, one, go.
I had to work on my start. Hand time, I know I can get a 4-4, but the legs are a little different, It go off the first twitch and movement, so if I lean forward, anything, it's going to start. But I hope the car can have a 4-4. That's my goal.
All right, so we got gates set at 20 and 40, but we're going to start 25 off of it. All right, so we're giving you an extra 5 yards to build because I want to see how you hold that speed through that 20 to 40 window. Right, JD. Go. Damn!
What'd you get?
186.6.
Yeah.
You good, man?
All right, we'll see you at the combine, bro.
This St. Louis high school star, who's overlooked by Division I schools coming out of high school, ended up getting invitations to play in both the Shrine Bowl and Senior Bowl. Please welcome the first winner of the Cliff Harris Award, Pierre Desir.
Pierre Desir was named the Small School Defensive Player of the Year at the inaugural Cliff Harris Award ceremony.
Throughout my time at Lindenwood, I played at a high level, as high as I can, in order to help my team win, regardless of the level of play. I took the same idea with me when I went to Tampa, Florida, and Mobile, Alabama, during the Shrine Game and the Senior Bowl. And I would like to thank all those who have been involved with the presentation of this award, and all of you in attendance. Thank you.
Despite the award, Desir still carries the stigma of a small school player with something to prove.
How you doing?
One of the things that are difficult to judge is what's called level of competition. And the question then is, how can you translate? You can translate via the measurables. That's the great equalizer. That's why the combine for a player from a lower level of comp is critical.
Don't grab. All right, don't grab. Don't grab. That's 15. That's 5. That's 10. That's something.
In preparation of the combine, Desir is training at 4th and Inches in Dallas, Texas, under the tutelage of former NFL defensive back Willie Pyle.
What we need is explosive that way. Because if Mike Wallace is trying to run by you, or freaking, you got to be able to get out. Deshaun Jackson's not going to slow down. If you give him that pivot step, that little this right here, he out of there. I think the way the NFL is going now towards these bigger receivers, you need bigger corners who can match up with them and have the confidence to step in front of them and say, I can press you man to man, I can play off, I'll come up and hit you. And I think Pierre possesses all those qualities. Stay even, stay smooth, right? Be smooth in your pedal, explode out. Be smooth here, explode that way. Here we go. Go. Flip, explode. There you go, get out.
On top of the daily grind at 4th and Inches, the coaches will occasionally pose a different kind of combine challenge. On this day, Coach Noel Scarlett offered an incentive to any player hungry enough to break Willie Pyle's broad jump record of 10 feet, 6 inches.
We taking everybody to eat. Eat all you want, it's on me. All right, man. Hey, 10-6.
Heels got to be past this white line.
Okay. If you don't stick it, it don't count. You gotta go past. Come on, Pete. Come on, Pete. Come on, Pete. No! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Hey, man!
He went 10 feet, 11 inches. That'll put him in the top 5 in the last 2 combines. Damn.
The main thing for me is just try to remain calm, you know. Eliminate distractions once I get to the combine. And remain focused, just block out all the distractions and rely on the technique, you know. Rely on what you've been doing these past few months, and that's going to carry you through, you know.
Now, you know, of course, where all the athletes make their money is in what?
With the 40?
The 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
So you got 40 yards to make or break your NFL career. So that's going to be the time you need to run the fastest you ever ran in your life.
There you go. Stay down at that. There are a couple of different areas specifically with Bishop Sankey. What we've had to do with him is just take him back, clean up some mechanics, and talk to him about how quickly and how aggressively he's putting power in the ground. Now he can utilize that speed for a linear test that's really going to show well for him. Your stance was excellent, and you got to extension. You snapped to here, but then you let your arms hang just a little bit too long. Once you get, throw them back down. Bah, bah.
Yeah.
Right, and that's going to bring that other leg through real quick.
As we all know, the 40 is the big thing at the combine, and that's something that I'm really trying to nail. Scouts have questioned my size and my breakaway ability, and that's one thing I feel that I can prove to them that I can do, you know. I do have the speed. I am able to run and pull away from people.
The 40 rules, and Bishop Sankey knows it. He also knows that focusing on the mechanics and technique could bring him in under 4.5 and propel him into the first round.
I've heard people say that he might not have the elite second-level speed, but Bishop's certainly going to prove, you know, those people wrong.
We're running these about 90% in there. What I'm looking for is for you to stay tall, to have your ankles in the right position, and still putting power in the ground.
Miami.
Miami?
Yeah.
Be careful. Chill out, bro.
Hey. I felt that when I was running my hamstring. I was like, I'm just chill.
Yeah.
Kind of felt it, that's why I pulled up.
So Bishop had a setback. He just had a slight strain of his hamstring. We can continue to work on quite a few things as far as speed goes without having to run full speed. But it's our goal together that when he runs in Indianapolis, that he feels 100% confident and he's the fastest that he's ever been in his life.
Grind out 3, 1, 2, 3. Grind. I kind of felt my hamstring when I was coming out of my drive phase when we were out there doing our speed workout. So we're going to check it out, and I'm kind of just laying low for the rest of the day. Don't want to do nothing else to aggravate it, so.
Sometimes reaching for our goals can become our weakness. But how we react can determine if they remain goals or become accomplishments. On the next Draft Academy.
If it hurts you, slow down. You want to play on the conservative side right now, right? Everything will be okay. It's all going to be good.
This is a lifelong dream. Grew up watching the combine every single year, and I'm going to have an opportunity to go participate in it.
I want to have the best time in the 40. Just every event, I want to have the best time.
What do you feel like you have to prove here?
I have to prove that I have the skill set to go against these guys.
I'm going to do everything at the combine. I feel like there's no reason why I shouldn't. Everything is up to par. I feel 100%.